Hi, and welcome. I'm Raina, a homemaker and lover of all things nature. And this is Jason, an experienced farmer and seasoned landowner. Together, we are Golden Acres. Join us on this journey here as we learn, grow, and stumble along the way.
Welcome to Golden Acres. How's everybody doing? My name is Jason. Welcome back. I appreciate you showing up. So this is the little pig paddock / pasture. This is where we had the hogs. And I just wanted to kind of point out a couple things that I find beautiful, fascinating, lovely to witness. When I bought this place 13 years ago, I was really interested in land regeneration and kind of working with the plants and whatever. And it's fascinating to see what animals can do to the land. When the pigs come in here, you know, they start off fairly small, and by the time they leave, they're 300-400 pound pigs. And they're rooting into the ground with their snouts. They're tearing stuff up as far as digging with their mouth. They're stomping around with their hooves, grinding stuff in, and they're eating stuff, pooping it out, peeing it out. And this right here was the strip of land in the paddock, but on to one side where they were pooping and peeing. And we're on a slope right here, fairly mild, but it is a slope. So this is not flat. I'm not exactly sure how that would come off in video. But what I wanted to point out was this is the area where they would do all their business. Pigs are fairly clean animals. And if you give them space, they keep all their poo and pee kind of in the same general area. And so because this is on a slope, they're pooping and peeing all through here. Obviously when it rains, things are washing downhill right here. And it is unbelievable. If you see this kind of definition right here where it goes to kind of open, more scarred ground, this is where the nutrition from their poop and pee wasn't affecting as much. You can see there's really not a lot of plant life. Whereas here is thick. Not only is it thick with plant life, and I just weed whacked it. So, you know, it was tall a day or two ago. It's thick with plant life, but it's green. It's a deep, dark green. And I'm not sure how good that would come out on camera, but compared to everything around it, it's a lot darker green. And that is from the poop and the pee from the hogs. And it's amazing how it penetrates the earth. They're rooting around, they're digging stuff up. And then when you take the poo and the pee from the hog and you add it onto this kind of dead ground, which is made up primarily of clay, and all that festers together kind of, it creates this living environment where you're growing microorganisms that are basically doing the work for you, and it becomes a living environment, like what they would call a living soil, a living dirt. And this over time is what land regeneration is, and basically the moving of grazing animals and placing them where you want them to go. And I just find it fascinating how if you can do this all over your farm and, you know, segment it out, you'll get this and better. It actually becomes better and more viable over time. You grow more grass, which then produces more protein on your animals. I just find it to be an incredible process. And I wanted you all to see that, how it wasn't affected nearly as much over here. And right here, I mean, you can smell it in the air. I mean, you can actually smell the livingness of the dirt. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's that smell where if you were to put your hands in really healthy soil and you smell it, very earthy. It smells so good. I can't even put it into words. But I really wanted you all to see this. And over time, when you graze them back on here, it should get better and more rich over the years. I also wanted to point out a thing or two that's pretty sweet. The whole process of, we would feed the pigs scraps, all our scrap vegetables, everything from avocados, tomatoes, cucumbers, zucchini, you name it. And sure enough, when I came out here to clear this little pasture, I weed whacked them, but I'm pretty sure this is a squash or a zucchini, a nice one. We got another one down here. There's tomatoes spread out through here, and all of those were deposited via the pig's back end. So that's them eating a tomato, eating a zucchini or a squash, the seed passing through their body and then growing in the wild. I mean, I find that just absolutely fascinating. It's beautiful to witness that type of thing with your own eyes and to kind of be a part of the circle of life. Just also wanted to point out the reason that I come through here, I don't have animals here, but why did I come through here with a weed whacker and cut this all down? It's because I'm trying to put the nutrients back into the dirt. And so if you were to see this 2 or 3 days ago, like I said, all of this was about this tall. And so what that's doing is it's taking the nutrition out of the ground, whether that's phosphorus, nitrogen, potassium, copper, cobalt. You don't really know exactly what the breakdown of it is, but as that's growing, it's pulling it from the earth and turning it into foliage. And I want to lock those nutrients back into the ground. So what do? You chop it back down, and over time, what that does is that keeps more moisture into the ground. So via evaporation, it gets hot out here, we have a lot of sun, so that keeps it in the shade. That keeps more moisture in there, and also it breaks down and feeds the microorganisms that are in the earth. It could be something as simple as a worm, or bacteria, fungus, anything of that nature. But if it were to be growing, then you're not getting that nutrition back into the earth. And so that's the goal here. And like I said, that'll create that loop, and that'll give you better soil every single year if you keep up the process. Thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. If you enjoy these videos, we'd really appreciate it if you liked, subscribed, maybe share it. We're trying to grow the channel, and we would love to bring you all better content, and that would superbly help us out. We'll keep this going for y'all and keep delivering.